Hi everybody, I'm Solomon, the Arkansas Diamond Miner. Out here at the Diamond Mine again today. It's the end of July, middle of the heat of the summer. Just got out here today. It's about 12 noon. You can see the the search field right out here behind me. So I'm smack in the middle of the field right now, and it is hot. It is like 97 or 98 degrees, I think is the high today, and we're pretty close to it. A little bit humid, and there's just a little bit of a breeze blowing. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone or not, but it's pretty warm. I haven't even got a shovel in the ground yet, just got into town. Probably just gonna look around a little bit right off the bat. Today I kind of wanted to give you guys a kind of an indication of how hot it can be out here mining diamonds. If you come out here in the middle of the summer, that is definitely one of the things you've got to take into consideration is the heat. You can see, I mean, there are places behind me back here where you can get some shade. So you see some of the trees back there. You can get under some of those trees, and even right here behind me, you know, there's a couple trees. There's a couple shade pavilions, and of course there's wash pavilions where you can get in there and wash in a shaded area. But the heat out here is no joke, because this is in the wide open. So not only are you getting baked by the sunshine, you're getting baked by the ground too. That heat's radiating up off the ground. It is just flat out hot. So I'm gonna spin the camera around here and kind of show you what I've packed in today. I brought my wagon. Let me spin this camera around and I'll show you what I've got in my wagon. All right, so you guys can see the most important thing I've brought with me today is that case of water and that cooler. That cooler's full of ice, got a few bottles in it already getting cold, and that water. Got my screens, got a Muddy Miner Saruka right there on top. I believe that is the 20 mesh. That one's got some miles on it. It's one I've had since last year. I've been using it, processed a lot of centers with that. Got a handful of buckets, just enough to kind of keep me enough to keep going. And then like I said, that cooler right there has got plenty of water in it. This is all loaded up in my Gorilla cart here. If you're going to spend a whole lot of time, or if you're going to spend a full week at it out here, a Gorilla cart is an amazing thing to have. That will save you a lot of work. So, and of course I got my backpack. In that backpack I've got some hand towels that I use, and I'll show you a little trick with a hand towel that will help you immensely staying cool out here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go find some good gravel that I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna put everything in this wagon to use. All right, so just a quick walk out here, and I think I found what I'm going to do today. Like I said, I showed up, it's already noon. Park closes at 4, so I got 4 hours to make some tracks. Trying to get a bucket full of centers to take home, or at least concentrated gravel. So my focus today is I've got some higher volume screens, use them quite a bit. They're a pretty good size set, and what I'm looking at is basically I'm looking for somewhere close to a pavilion. I'm not going to set up my own wash station. So I'm going to get set up here pretty close to the pavilion, gather some gravel up. What I'm going to do is that the South Wash Pavilion has a little stream that kind of goes right through the middle of the search field, honestly. And it goes right by that South Wash Pavilion. I found a few diamonds in it. It's not the best material, but it's close. And on a day like today, when it's this hot, the less sun and heat exposure you can get for the amount of material, the better. So I'm gonna switch this camera around, kind of show you what I'm looking at gathering here. So this is, I guess it's kind of like the middle trench. You see that shovel right there? That's my shovel. You see you got some hard pan sticking up right there, and there's a little bit of gravel built up around that. There's some more places on down where there's some big boulders in there. Plus, on the uphill side, you've got the culvert up there that dumps out. That's usually a good spot. Before it, after it, it's pretty well filled up in front of it, so this side of it wouldn't be too bad as well. But if you kind of get down here and look in this, there's a lot of silt in places, and then something like this, it's got a little bit of gravel built up in there. No guarantees there'll be a diamond. This place is kind of odd. Sometimes I find lots of garnets and no diamonds. And then there's been a couple times where I've found a diamond or two and not many garnets at all, which is kind of weird. But it is close to the South Wash Pavilion up here. So this is going to be my target today. I've got those high volume screens. There's not a, you know, this is, it's mostly sandy if you get it from right spots. So that 20 mesh Saruka is going to work real good to process some of this. So I'm going to put the camera away, start getting buckets of material. Like I said, I've got 5 or 6 5-gallon buckets, so I can get maybe 4 buckets at a time, have one for concentrates, and then once I fill a concentrates bucket or a washed gravel bucket, I can make centers or however I need to do it to make sure I've got a full bucket of something to carry out of here. It's gonna be a pretty good spot right in here. So yeah, plenty of good stuff to go after right here, and it's close to water, so I'm gonna get after it. So yeah, I just looked at the feels like temperature, and right now it feels like it's saying 99 degrees. As you can tell, I'm already starting to sweat quite a bit. I'm out here gathering up some of this material, and I'm starting to get wet pretty quick just from the amount of sweat because I'm out here in the direct sunlight. But one of the things I want to point out to you guys you notice that I always wear the same thing out here: a white t-shirt, it's cargo pants. Cargo pants is mainly just for the pockets. To be honest, I pick up a lot of rocks out here, but the white t-shirt, it's a light color, so it's not going to be as hot in the sunshine. So when you're out here, that's one of the things to keep in mind, is that you're in the open and you're in the direct sunlight and in the heat. Every little thing you can do to help yourself manage this temperature is going to help. One of the things I do is wear light colored clothing, even a light colored hat. I rarely ever wear any other hat out here. But yeah, this is just kind of one of those tips to help you handle the heat. All right, guys, I've got 4 buckets of gravel right there to start with. Got my screens up in the water floating away. Up here at the pavilion, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so we'll get started here. 4 buckets I showed you. This is a set of screens I've got. Now this is bigger than most of the screens you see out here. There are places in town where you can get these. This will actually fit a full 5-gallon bucket. I can put an entire 5-gallon bucket into this set of screens and have it processed pretty quick. So there's a grate down inside these tanks that those screens will sit on, so you don't have to worry about losing them as long as you're fairly careful on how you pour it in. And the material that we've got is very sandy, so it's not going to clog up the screens real bad. It should be real easy to wash. That's going to help us make a little bit better time on these. I'm just going to start working the material through these screens. All right. Top screen, it's 1/4 inch. Everything that's larger than 1/4 inch is going to be left behind. Still want to look through it. When you do look through it, keep it over your other screen in case you've got one that slips through. That'll catch. A 1/4 carat could probably go through a 1/4 inch, or a 1 carat could probably go through a 1/4 inch screen. So if you do lose one, you want to lose it into your bottom screen. Alright, so what you're left with is the bottom screen full of your finer material. Now this bottom screen, most of these are going to have a 16 or a 20 mesh stainless. So same thing, basically just kind of start swirling it around, working water through it. And that silk will work its way out, leave everything larger than 1/16 of an inch behind. Alright, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty well done. You can see I got a lot of gravel out of that. It's because I got it directly out of the stream bed, right off the bird fan. From here, you're not going to be able to make a good center with a screen like this. These are designed for volume, so they're not really shaped right. They don't really have a tight screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over to that Saruka and make a center. But you're alright. Alright. So what this is going to do is I'm going to use this to make a center. That's going to separate those heaviest minerals out and leave the lighter stuff on the outer edges and on the top once it's flipped. Time for the flip. All right. So one smooth motion. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna flip this back toward myself. And you can see how it's concentrated all the heavier minerals right to the center. So if you've got a diamond in your material, this is how you want to concentrate it to one area where you can easily harvest it, find it at home. You'll notice I didn't cut this by 1/8 inch. A lot of times if I've got the time to do it, I'll cut by 1/8 inch and then center it, but you see it's still effective even if you don't cut the size. So now we scoop that up, take it home with us. Now we do another one. All right, guys, we are through our first 4 buckets. Got them all done up. Got my last center right there behind me. You can see it's got a lot of quartz, some barite. Did find one piece of chromium diopside. I think I'm gonna try a little bit of a different spot. I'm gonna go up to that culvert there, maybe get some on the bottom side, then next time up on the top side, see what I can get out of that. No diamonds yet, but like I said, I've only gone through 4 buckets, and it's been about an hour 15 since I got started. Kind of taking it easy, visiting a little bit, but 4 more buckets, here we go. All right, guys, I'm gonna get me a little bit of material from this culvert right here behind me. Just kind of give it a check, see what's in it. Heat is setting in on me. I am sweating a lot, but I wanted to show you a real quick trick, something that might help you out a little bit if you're out here dealing with the heat. Get you a hand towel, wet it down real good, and then something you can do to kind of cool it off is kind of whirl that thing around in the air like that. Give it just a few minutes. Drape it over your, you'll feel it, it'll be a lot cooler. You kind of drape that over your neck. It'll help cool you off a little bit, keep the sun off your neck. You can wipe your sweat with it, just like that. Kind of nasty, but works for me. It's my own sweat. But no, that'll help keep you cool. Like I said, anything you can do out here to help you manage this heat, you're going to be better off. I'm down here kind of eye level with some of this. I'm going to turn this around and show you something kind of cool. I'm not sure how well it shows up, but the heat coming off the ground, I mean, you can see the heat just boiling up off the ground out here, looking out across it when you're kind of at eye level. That's pretty cool. All right, I've got 4 buckets. One of them's already in the screen there in the water. Got those 3 to go through. Burn those out and get a good look at them centers and see what's in them. I've got a pretty good idea what's going to be in one of them. That's pretty good looking material. So we'll get going on them. Okay guys, 12 buckets down. I'm gonna get a few more out of this spot that I'm at. They're over here working with the tractor. That's what you hear in the background. They're smoothing it out a little bit, making sure there's pretty easy access all the way around that pavilion. So if you come out here, you know, that's kind of one of the things they do is they maintain the area so that you got some fairly smooth roads. Now, if it's rained, it's gonna be slick. It don't matter what they do. So be prepared for mud if it's raining, but that's not the case today. It is sunny, finally got a few clouds in the sky. They're not really helping much. There's not much shade falling on the search field right now. So I looked at the feels like temperature a while ago, is up over 99, which I'm actually surprised. I kind of figured it'd be higher than that, but anyhow, I'm gonna finish scooping out what I'm after over here. I figure there's probably at least 2 more buckets worth. That'll make it 14 buckets, and then I don't know, I may go walk around a little bit. All right guys, that is 14 buckets we've gone through. We're about to call it a day. Everywhere's pretty well cleared out here. There's not many people left in the pavilion behind me, so I think it's about 3 o'clock, pretty close to it, so pretty good time to go ahead and check out of here. I may walk around just a little bit. Let me show you the centers I got real quick. Okay, here is my Saruka pile. That's all the material I worked and pulled centers out of. And that right there is centers from 14 buckets. Now, they weren't the best centers I've ever seen, but you know what, beats sitting on the couch. That's my discard pile out of my top screen. Started kind of spilling into that little ravine right there, that little where the drain comes out right there. But yeah, so I mean, that's a pretty good day. That's 3 hours worth. That right there is where you definitely want to have a Saruka, because you don't want to have to go through all of that material to find your diamond when all you got to do is go through that little bit right there. So I'll be putting out a video pretty soon on kind of some tips on working a Saruka, but I think we're going to call it a day on this one. There's some of the stuff I picked out. Pretty cool little agate right there. Just a seam agate. Kind of see through that. And yeah, some more rocks, big old chunk of calcite right there. There's a calcite vein that runs under the south wash station. Cool little piece of agate. Yeah, just some cool rocks and stuff. Okay guys, so 14 buckets of material, a little over 3 hours with a big set of screens and a Saruka. Classified all the way down to about a half a bucket of centers. I've got it here in the wagon behind me. So one of the tips that one of the things that I do to kind of help keep cool out here is to definitely keep hydrated. You want to be able to sweat when you get out here. Every time I go back out into the search field, you know, I go and what I've been doing is 4 buckets of material at a time. So every time I go back out into the search field to reload those 4 buckets, before I do so, I'll drink a bottle of water. You know, a full bottle of water gives you quite a bit to sweat out before you go back out again. So, you know, go get 4 buckets, work it, drink a bottle of water, and go get 4 more buckets. So within 3 hours, I've had about 4 bottles of water. Plus, I had a little bit, and I sat down and ate a sandwich. So just making sure you're bringing in, taking in a lot of liquids, because it is definitely hot out here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you'll like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.